There's no such thing as too many yarn crafts, right? Hello and welcome back to, or welcome to for the first time, my channel. My name is Becky and hello. I'm repeating myself. This is great. So, anyway, I did show what we're doing today in my recent Herrschner's unboxing, and I am so excited. Today, we are going to dive into the world of Latch Hook crochet. Well, Latch Hook crochet. Well, it's not crochet. I stand corrected. It says Latch Hook crochet. So I was right the first time. Latch Hook. So a little bit of history that I just really looked up because I didn't know. I was thinking this is something that's been around forever, right? No, this has actually been around. It started in 1847. So not even 200 years. That's very surprising to me. I'm sure there was other things like this, but the actual latch hook craft started then. And it says that it was influenced by the latch needles that were used in the knitting machines at the time. And so latch hook crochet, as it says on here, was born. I think it's so fascinating that it's not like older than that. But I feel like this has kind of become a little bit of a lost art. You don't hear too many people talk about it anymore. I mentioned before in the Herrschner's video that my dad had done a lot of this. My dad did needlepoint. We have several of his things still. He was very talented. And he did a couple latch hook projects. So I'm excited to give this a shot. I actually, at my recent yarn festival that I went to, there was a whole latch hook booth. And I was walking around it and I was like, that's so funny because I've been thinking about this. But I was so overwhelmed because I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know if this is a craft I'm going to like. So we went to Herrschner's and purchased a cheap kit. There were some gorgeous, gorgeous ones available there, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on something that I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy. So this was actually less than $11. And it has color coded, well, yeah, color like coded kind of like where the yarn goes. So I thought this was, for all intents and purposes, a good beginner project. Says full color printed canvas makes it easy to latch hook. Simply match the yarn to the printed color in the canvas. Now, I'm really hoping that there's more instructions to this besides just that. But let's dive in and try this out together. Here's a bit of a better view of what we are dealing with. This is only 10 by 12, again, something that I thought was manageable to start with. Includes the printed canvas. I thought this was just a really pretty kind of like, I was thinking landscape, but then reading the description online, it's supposed to be the ocean, which now that I, look at the blues, that absolutely makes sense. You can see on the side all the yarn. And let's dive in. Oh my gosh. Industrial strength. Okay. Oh, well, that's easy enough. That's good. So I can kind of have like a view of what it should look like. Just kind of sitting kind of like you would with a puzzle. And opening up the side here. Oh, those are cool. That looks really neat. And I don't know why I was picturing like long threads, like long pieces of yarn, but I guess it makes sense to have shorter pieces. That looks so neat. I don't, small things entertain me. They remind me of poured art. You know, when you like pour the different paint over a canvas and it kind of turns into this marbly effect. That's what I'm reminded of. Oh, there is a little bit longer yarn. I bet this is for the fringe, which I don't think I will add fringe to this. But, oh, good. Instructions. I was really worried. So quite a few little yarn mosaic kind of paintings. I think that's what I'm thinking they look like. And then we have our canvas here. So color coordinated. Okay, very nice. Yeah, that's the right side. All right, now let's take a look at the instructions. And I do like the instructions come in French and Spanish as well. I have my latch hook. It's not included in this kit, so I did have to buy it separately. And let's see here.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we read through, learned a few things. It says to cover all the edges with masking tape. I'm not planning on doing that unless all of a sudden I get into it and I'm like, ah, there was a reason. There is 6 colors in each of these, and it says it's the same amount of yarn in each of them. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there is 6 different colors in here. It says to lay them out on the table, kind of separate them, but I might just kind of hang them out in here for now. I might regret that, and I will change my plan. I reserve the right to change. And it says we are starting in the bottom right down here. And it is saying it's best to start near the edge of a table. You want 3 rows of unhooked canvas extending from the table edge. So I'm guessing, 1, 2, 3. So we'll kind of play around with that. A little bit of the structure of the hook itself, handle. This is the latch, which makes sense because it opens, like a latch, and hook. Okay. Finishing section, we're going to ignore. And then on the back, we have instructions. So let's try this. Okay. I have no idea how this is going to work. Pull out a couple threads and let's see how we do this, right? Okay. So we're going to, guys, I am like beginner. So if you've done this before, definitely feel free to give me some tips in the comments. But this is total just, you guys are watching me do this. I will probably mess up. So hold the tool in one hand, loop a piece of yarn around, holding the ends together. Okay. Oh, and the latch looks like it is down, so we'll latch down. Yarn must be below the latch. Okay. So we're kind of wanting to hold it like this. Got it. And then push the tool through the canvas so that the hook and latch go under one of the horizontal canvas threads. So looking at that picture, we're just starting down here. And I guess, I can move this a little bit farther this way, make it a little bit easier on myself. So still holding these 2 together. And we're going underneath here, right? So that the hook and latch go under one horizontal thread. Oh, so like, oh, I see. So like this. Okay. Pull back slowly. Okay, so it's like all the way like this. Okay, so you want the latch to go underneath. Notice how it's just underneath, so I popped it up. So the latch starts to lift. Okay. I don't know if it's supposed to close all the way up. Wrap the yarn ends around the latch. So I feel so fiddly with this. Like this, right? I mean, that's what the picture looks like. And then the next one says to pull it back through the canvas and it will hook. Well, the latch will close automatically, capture the yarn, and wiggle as you pull it through. Okay, so should grab the yarn and you just kind of wiggle it through. Tug the yarn to tighten into a knot. To tighten the knot. Okay, so clearly I did that wrong. So let's try that again. So going underneath, so it's just under one. We are latching the yarn underneath and pulling back slowly so the latch starts to hook. Oh, okay. I'm still kind of doing the same thing here. Maybe like this. The latch will close automatically. Capture the yarn, wiggle to help you get the ends through. Then it says to tug the yarn to tighten the knot and even the ends. Again, we're in this together because this did not form a knot. So let's back it up a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Go through the instructions together, my friends. I mean, again, this is real time. I've never done this before. So hold in one hand, loop a piece around the tool, holding the ends together with your other hand. Yarn must be below the latch, and it is indeed below the latch. Push the tool through the canvas so that the hook and latch go under one horizontal thread. Meaning, down here at the bottom, we're going like this, and it's going above. Okay. And then it says, oh, sorry. Oh, I feel so clumsy. Okay. Pull back slowly so the latch starts to lift up, which you can see here. I'll zoom in again. You can see the latch is starting to move up. Wrap the yarn ends around the latch. I'm sure once I get the hang of this, I'll be like, well, duh. But for now, so I'm wanting to wrap the yarn around the latch, ends around the latch. It would make sense like this, right? And then you pull, or is it meaning like both ends, like this? Oh, maybe. Then wiggle it through. Oh, oh, oh. Look, I made a knot. Yay! Okay. And I think I was probably supposed to start down there. But look, I made a hook. I latched it. Okay, so let's definitely go through that again. Hopefully you can see a little bit better this time because I'm so confused. Okay, so latch is down, wrapping yarn around, and you're going underneath just once. So you're popping it up like this. And then you're kind of letting the latch come up a little bit. You can see that. And then it said, this is the part I might fail at, to wrap it around. So you don't let it go through the middle. You're wrapping it in like that. And then you're slowly wiggling it through. That makes a lot of sense because then that's pulling it through there. And then you can tighten. Okay. Okay. I think we're getting it. I think maybe we're getting this. Okay. This is very intense. All right. Change the angle. Hopefully this helps a little bit. So, grabbing the latch hook, you push the latch down. Hold the yarn underneath the latch, and then you are going in and you're going underneath like so. So there's the latch and it's just underneath one. And you're pulling back a little bit so it's starting to close. And you take the yarn and wrap it around this. So it's like kind of closing. And then as you're pulling it through, it's latched. And then it forms into a little knot. Look at that. Yay. I'm going to tighten those up. All right. So not difficult now. It was hard to understand the instructions. Probably could have watched a video and it would have explained a little bit more, but yeah, let's go through a few and we'll see how this goes. I wonder if you can literally just do like this. What if I don't like the steps you have? Oh no, because you want it to be, I see. Trying to change things like I know best. I was wondering if you could add the yarn after, but it makes sense that you need to do it before so that you can have that latch go up, wrap it through, and then pull it through like that. Okay. Not that difficult. My question is, how well do they stay on there though? I would think the knots can come untied. And issues here is you're starting to do multiple. It's really hard to like keep your yarn separate. There we go. That goes up a little bit. And you're wrapping it in there. It's so not even. There we go. It is really hard to see once you start doing that. Interesting. I wonder if there's a better way. If you do like all the bottom row and just keep like row by row by row. I don't know. We're definitely experimenting here. Now I can see what they mean by like get a lot of it out so it's easier just to grab and go. as you can see, I've gone a little bit of ways, and she's so fluffy. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe not fluffy, just shaggy. And I don't know, it doesn't look like it's showing up right. There we go. It's this really pretty, like not even navy, like this oceany navy. So I'm getting the hang of things, and I've learned a couple tricks. Let's zoom in here. Let me show you what my tricks are. So I'm cutting out a couple steps. I'm not moving the latch down before I put it in. I have found that you can literally just, put it in and the latch itself will go down. And then I am not doing the yarn before I put it in, I'm doing the yarn after. And then when it comes to wrapping it around the latch, I found that if I just literally put it inside, just like that, and I don't have to turn it anymore, I could just pull it. And there you go. So that is definitely making things speed up a bit more. And I'm kind of following the top of this to the end, and then I will go back and do a row and go back and do a row. It's definitely a bit more fiddly as you're going through having to move these up, because sometimes some of these yarns will catch in your latch. That rhymed. That was great. But as a whole, I can absolutely see where some people might find this relaxing. Since I started just pulling it down, it's helped. The first little bit when I was rotating it, my back of my hand was really starting to feel it after a few, but this has definitely helped with that process. Yeah, I don't know if I love this, but I am enjoying it. I don't know if it's more than I thought I would, or just, about what I had hoped that I would. But I can see where this could be relaxing. So you can see as I get back up in here, I am in the middle of all this yarn. So I can see where they were saying start at the bottom and like work up, but I'm a rule breaker. And this just makes more sense to me. And first section done. Whew. Wow. I severely underestimated how long that would take. That took me probably a good hour, 45 minutes ish. Hour and 45 minutes, I should say. And just when I was like, oh, I have enough yarn, pulled out of these sections, it wasn't. So I do have a little bit of the dark yarn left. This is not the dark yarn, this one. Which is good that they gave me extra, especially because I realized halfway through this row that I went one down farther than I should have gone. So I'm very grateful for that. I can't get over how shaggy that is. I knew it would be shaggy, but this is shaggy. Oh my gosh, shag carpet shaggy. I kind of love it. But I learned a lot of lessons in this first section. Definitely one of them is when it says to go horizontal up, do that. You could saw that I kind of went up here and then I went along the top and filled a little bit in here. It worked out fine, but near the end when I was just doing horizontal, so much quicker. And then you're not having to deal with yarn on top of where you're going, which tends to get stuck in the latch hook. So we're going to take this lesson and we're going to apply it to this next section, which is smaller and should go faster, knock on wood. But yeah, so far, not bad. I am definitely going to take a little bit of a break first because hunching over this table is making my neck hurt a little bit. So I'm going to go take a short break, and then we're going to go back into this and keep going. Like I said, I am loving how this looks so far. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. So stay tuned. And checking in. So the color is totally not showing up on the camera. This is very much a teal, and this is like a light, kind of bright teal, and this is a dark teal, and then this is like a dark navy. But it is really fun. Like, look at it's total like shag carpet. This has been quite the adventure. I am really enjoying it. Unfortunately, this dog hair is showing up on it, which is annoying. So a couple of things that are driving me crazy with this, and maybe it's just where the territory comes with this kind of art, or it's because, well, I feel like most of the yarn used for these projects would be acrylic, but if you can see, let's just zoom in here. Do you see this? This is just like, there's so many of these little fluffs all over my floor right now, like everywhere, just everywhere. It is so ridiculous. I mean, this in general has been fantastic, but I am going to be vacuuming this room for certain after I am done. And I will definitely take like a lint roller after to this and try to clean that up. I am so sad that the color is not showing up. But all I have left is the sun and the sky. So I would say I'm like over halfway. The goal is to finish this today and post this video today. So we're trying to kick it into high gear. But this, yeah, okay, I'll save my full opinion for the end, but I just wanted you to see all of the water now that it's done. And if you look on the back, you can see, kind of looks really cool from the back too. You can also see where I have kind of messed up, but I kind of almost like it better from the back. I don't know. Anyway, when you see me again in a couple seconds, this will be done. And just like that, she's done. Oh, I'm so excited. Definitely took a little bit longer than planned, but also I was able to push through and get this done in one day. Oh man, but serious, I'm so mad that you can't get I'm so mad that you can't get the beautiful teal color that this is, but look at her. And there's like orange fluffies everywhere. Oh my goodness. So this is like how thick it is. It is pretty thick. Like digging into it, like, can you see how deep the fingers go? Ah, it's really nice. Again, I can't decide if I like this as much as I. No, you know what? I do like this better than I thought I would. I went in with hopeful optimism, um, but also slightly expecting just to find it annoying. Um, I'm a girl of habits, and yeah, this one surprised me. I don't mind it. Now, am I going to go out and buy a huge kit and make a huge rug and no, I'm really not. Especially after going through this so quickly. My neck hurts from bending over. My lower back is hurting. um, Definitely, like my eyes are kind of like hurting from like concentrating on these, little bitty holes. But for the most part, in the future, if there is a cat I love, I will do this again because the texture is so fun. The texture really is a lot of fun. It was a different thing to do. And if you're at all curious about doing a Latch Hook project, I highly recommend just grabbing a kit and trying it out. I will link the Herrschner's kit that this is in the description. So if you want this exact one, you can go and snag it for yourself. Like I said, now it's $12. Still not a bad price to just try it out and see how you feel about it. Okay, so getting into a little bit of the nitty gritty of the things I liked, things I didn't like. Uh, like I said, definitely hunching over on a table made it a little difficult to do it in long spurts. You did see for a little bit that I was like leaning back in my chair and kind of had like a knee propped up, and that definitely helped alleviate some of the discomfort. Um, I'm sure this probably isn't meant to be like done as fast as I did it, which understandable. So, take that into account. Some other things that I didn't like, and I mentioned it a little bit back, the fuzzies. Oh my gosh, like just even like sitting here looking at it, like I am just still, look at that. So many fuzzies. Like I said, I'm going to take a lint roller to this, but my floor is covered in fuzzies. Like it's insane. Um, that's part of acrylic yarn. Yes, I understand, but that is a lot of fuzzies. Something else, um, and I did take a little video so you could see what I was talking about. When you pull the yarn out and you put like a big like stack of it on the table, it is really hard to pick up individual yarns. Like you can take them and kind of like scatter them a little bit, but they stick together pretty good. So trying to like pick up an individual yarn to put it in the project, it maybe it's nitpicky. I don't care. It really bugged me sometimes to try to just get one strand. And in the same line, getting one strand and then putting it in was sometimes just annoying. I wish there was like a continual thread that you could just hook and hook and hook. Um, maybe that's why, obviously prefer crochet or even knitting, because I'm not having to pick up an individual thread, put it on, new thread, put it on. But I tried a couple times to maybe put a couple kind of in my mouth like you would with like a pin, as you're like pinning something. But then I got like fuzzies in my mouth, which, ugh, no thank you. In fact, I'm pretty sure I still have fuzzies in my mouth. Yes, I do. Great. And then I would try to hold multiple in like my left hand as I'm doing it, but then that would kind of get in the way of latching it. And I mean, that didn't really work. So maybe there's a better way to do that. I'm not sure. But it definitely got annoying. Again, some of these sound like, oh, Becky, like you're just, being really picky about things. And this is an honest review. I want to be totally upfront in what the experience was. And um, as fun as it was and it got into a rhythm, there's just some things that don't make me want to rush out and get another kit. Uh, I don't know. I feel like this design, like this, I love this. This looks so much fun, right? Like it's so fun. But I feel like you have to be really selective in the designs you choose because there are some things that don't look cute in a fluffy, shaggy design like this. So, I mean, it's subjective. Everybody likes different things, right? But for me, there's very few things that I think I would spend the money on to make this kind of appearance. Um, but honestly, like in the end, it's enjoyable. It's not bad. I'm not saying I love it, but it's enjoyable. Um, will I be sticking to crochet? And yes, absolutely. This is not a new obsession, which is probably a good thing. Um, so again, if there's a kit in the future that really stands out, like there is, I'm just going to put a picture of it. There is this beautiful autumn kit on Herrschner's, and I almost went for that one. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I went for a smaller one to just, try it out. But I could see myself maybe breaking down and getting that one in the future. Seriously, if you've done this before and you have tips to like make it like quicker, or you saw something I was doing that was driving you crazy, please feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section and tell me what I could do better. Also, tell me like if you've done this before, tell me some of the cool projects you've done. I love to see what everyone's working on, but like, yeah, just tell me what you've been working on, what you've done with this. And I am tempted now that I've broken down and done this. I really want to try punch needling, but I don't know if I've ever seen that like as a kit available at a store. But I'm very curious about punch needling. So there might be a video on that in the future. If I ever find like a reasonably priced kit that I can try out. In the end, like crochet is still my jam. Um, I'm not deviating from that, but it is fun to expand your horizons and try out some new things. So, thanks for watching and joining me on this learning experience. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.